This is a How Is He podcast with Podge and Poppa, proudly sponsored by Ampifi. Power up your podcast. Let's kick it off.
We're going. Poppa, we're in,
man.
Episode 64.
Let's go.
At this current time, when this episode is out, I want to start this by saying a disclaimer. Poppa, you will be travelling again, I suppose. Where are you going this time? When this episode is out?
Oh, I'll be in...
This is the fucking Matrix, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be in the Gran Canaria.
I will be on a cruise ship going around Alaska.
Of course you will.
Or I'll be on a car going over Rocky Mountains.
Bringing back up the Titanic.
itinerary. Anyway.
Sponsored?
Yeah. That is the voice of Mr. Patrick O'Carroll from Ampifi. Before we get to it, let's do the intro. So welcome to episode 64 of the How Is He podcast, joined as always by my co-host, Paul
Poppa Dowling, as you to say.
Yeah, I won't say it then. Right here in the Ampifi Studios, right in the heart of Carroll town. This week is a bit of a different one, as I just said. We are joined by Paddy Carroll from Ampifi. He will be asking us questions that come from our listeners, Paddy, right?
Absolutely.
And some from your own beautiful mind.
Yes, we just said we might do it off the cuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
just
it.
to see you boys a little bit uncomfortable for a change. I don't with all with you, Poppa.
No, I don't get uncomfortable, man.
Apart from the time you were caught in the bush.
What bush was that?
He was peeping her. Peeping. That's why he's called Poppa.
Peeping Poppa.
Peeping Poppa.
That's fucking terrible accusation. I want to take that.
Terrible.
I genuinely apologise.
Someone doesn't believe that, Podge.
I had to say I probably am a little bit nervous about this one, to be honest with you.
Couldn't be. Not you two.
Probably am.
Be open and honest, man. And just tell the truth.
Let me ask you a question before we go any further, Mr. Carroll.
How many pages you got, Paddy?
We've the one with us back to front.
What's that?
Well,
Wuthering
actually,
Heights?
just look at the camera. This is the level of detail we go into for you two boys.
Look
Look at that. We even have the
That
crest.
crest is deadly. I robbed that off some free website you're supposed to pay for.
Is it?
Yeah, I made it. No, that's a lie. I did, but our old producer James designed it for the live show. Remember?
That's right.
Yeah, that's where that.
He changed the colour of the writing, didn't he?
The colour. I had the writing.
The writing was red and green.
Retard.
You know.
But yeah, I know. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Where was the one you designed, brother?
Well,
It's very original. Like, what was the thought
That's
process?
far from original.
Yeah.
If you go to 99% of football podcasts around the world, that's their crest.
I think he was in...
Come here.
I think you were in, what do you call that pub across the road from you?
Carp.
Carp, yeah.
Irish bands.
They're Carp, I'd say you were half a bottle deep in Cointreau after designing the last one.
Susie Cointreau.
Well, he didn't buy it anyway.
No, yeah.
Wow. It's allegations.
Poor man was going to the title. He
let
was
me,
robbing the job.
will you fuck up?
Go on, man.
Patrick, the last time I was called Patrick was by my mother, Podge.
Yeah.
Oh, so what do you want me to call you, Paddy, is it? I know you own the fucking building, but you don't own me. I can call you.
Here we go.
Oh,
only
it's
joking.
starting there.
Tell me this. Why are we in such a fantastic facility? What's the mindset or the thoughts behind it?
Wow, what a question. Simply is, I believe everybody has a voice. And I think that podcasts are just a growing thing. We have 300 or 400 million people listen to podcasts every day of the week. And
Is that the figures, yeah?
that's the figures, yeah, around
Is
the
it?
world. Around the world.
Verified.
Podgy guys are downloaded 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 now.
Yeah.
Imagine.
100,000, yeah.
You're 100,000. And as you said a couple of podcasts ago,
Yeah.
from everywhere in the world to Australia, Peru.
Mm.
Do you know?
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I think for like-minded people like yourselves as podcasters or influencers, is there's not many spaces where you can actually come into a professional setup and to give your voice and to give your opinion.
Yeah.
And what we'll call you're an expert in, do you know? And I think the generation of doing it from your kitchen table or doing it from your sitting room, I think people expect a little bit more now.
It's progress, though, right?
Oh, absolutely, progress.
That's the
Absolute.
definition of progress.
Yeah. If you're bootstrapping, it's sitting room, it's kitchen. But if you...
Whoa. What is it? Bootstrapping? Can you have a definition, please?
So bootstrapping is when you've got jack shit money.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. We've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still there.
It's the laptop and
Yeah.
it's the camera on your laptop and off you go. And it's successful for some people. But, if you want to be the next level, or it's the sound, it's the visual that's key. And I think, I know that your loved ones think that you're brilliant. But we're trying to get you to the next level without your loved ones telling you that you're brilliant.
It's actually funny because you've just described my thought process at the start of this whole podcast. Because at the start of it was actually going to be on Zoom.
Was it? Yeah.
Because my wife's a teacher, as I've said a million times on
You
this.
said this to me, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and she has Zoom. She
Yes.
she pays for it, whatever, right? So the idea was that I get my co-host on board, which I did, and delighted to get Poppa in, and he's brilliant. But the idea was to do it on Zoom. So just because when you pay for Zoom, you can screen record. So just screen record and go do it. So doing a test run, it was like trying to do a Rubik's Cube. So I forget about this, and
With
then
your toes.
yeah, it was a disaster. But you're 100% correct. That's the thought process, right? So
Yeah,
what's
and then it's the production.
yeah,
It's the pre and the post production, and I can see with you, Podge, if you want to put that in front of the camera,
which
you have a bookload of
Nearly
information.
full now, Podge.
You know,
This is our
it's-
second book,
This
bud.
is his lovely pink book, folks. That
there's my wife. Show it to my wife, Nikki, the Power Surge Sunday. John, Tuesday night, 7 to 9.
yeah. So
Sorry, Paddy.
even though a lot of people do think that you do bluff the minute you come in the door,
No, you
there
have
is
to prep.
actually a thought process from you that you
Well,
have to
there is,
ask your guests questions or whatever.
Both of us put in a bit of time, don't we?
No, no,
Yeah,
you
but
do.
you more than me. Let's be honest there. Like your prep is fantastic. Like,
Absolutely.
you make the phone calls, and then I'd be in the group that we're in, the WhatsApp group, Paddy. But he's the main man behind this. You know what I mean? I just come in and just
Stop it.
make one-liners or whatever it is.
So there's a saying, record and forget.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you guys come in and it's chat. All we want you to do is just chat into those mics and portray your opinion, whether it's strong or not or whatever. But everyone, you've got to respect everyone's opinion. But it's out there. But it's up to us to get it to the channels.
Yeah.
Out to the sources, the Spotify's, the Apples, the YouTube and the whole lot. But what does it take? Time.
Well, it takes feedback
Patience.
as well from guests, Paddy.
Time and patience, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you go back to David Ford, who's probably been our
Absolutely, yeah.
biggest number in here.
What a
he
gentleman.
he was on different podcasts.
Yeah.
With more famous people than me and Podge. Well, they were, not anymore.
Well, you're famous. You're famous now, boys.
I am me,
But
boys.
he couldn't believe the professional setup this is, the production level that we have. James outside doing, like, it comes off perfectly. Like, but speaking into the microphone, you don't sound perfectly. You're always sort of overcritical in your head, the demon in your head. Just did I say that right, or does it sound right? His voice too low. When James adjusted, it's absolutely spot on. When you listen to it back in the car driving along or wherever you're doing, So,
But you're always striving to make it better.
of course,
That's the number one. Just because you think, we've made it, it's only the beginning. To be honest with you,
I don't think you can ever get into a space, regardless of the level of where you are, right? You can never get into a space where you think that you're the best in this game. Because between trolls, negative comments, you can be shot down very, very... And I even see it on the social media platforms at times, some of the comments. And I get it, it's no problem. But I can see how it could set people back.
yeah. I was saying, and it kind of goes, what people say about you is none of your business.
Yeah. I'd
Okay.
agree with that,
And it can be negative because we're a part of the socials. We do see the negative comments coming in, and we do get rid of them. But kill some people with kindness. Begrudgery, that can be another thing too.
Yeah,
People don't like
yeah.
to see
that's
whatever.
a key one.
Yeah,
But you need to understand all these things
Yeah.
because you're not bulletproof. You're not invincible.
if
You know what I mean?
if you want to put yourself on a platform,
Yeah,
this is what's
exactly.
going to come.
And
All
I
right,
thi-
and as long as you're able for
Well,
that,
you're not going to get a pat in the back every single time, are you?
no.
But I think if we're podcasters now, I think to be a good podcaster, you have to have a severe understanding of that.
Absolutely. There's criticism, there's constructive criticism, but then there's just downright abuse. Okay? It's the abuse that you have to be able to park,
Yeah.
right? And you've got to know the difference between constructive criticism and whatever. So you'll often get to go, the camera angle was wrong, or I couldn't hear what Poppa said, or I couldn't hear what Podge said, or there were 60 in a room and it got a bit muffled. But that's up to us behind the screen here to start to sort it out. But the most important thing is that the podcaster, i.e. you two, is that you're in a comfortable environment and that you're able to have the space and the wherewithal to say, right, what way is the conversation flowing? And you've got to be fair to the guest, and you've got to let them. There's nothing worse than putting words in someone's mouth.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
We've learned up, Paddy, after doing a couple of podcasts at the start, and then obviously we've gone up a grade since here, that Podge more so than me, but it's the question, isn't it, Podge?
Yeah.
Like, the first time we did an episode, Podge had 15 questions for me. I was the first one to be on it, as well as the course, and we didn't get through 5 of them.
Yeah.
Because we just rambled on about the first one. Players I played against, players I played with, best teams, and what you remember.
And we done the same for the next
But
guest.
the best question that Podge always asks, or I'll always ask, is not wrote down on paper.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
As
that's
That's
but
where
you
the skill is,
and
though,
you
Pop.
get, yeah, it is. And then there's also a word that someone will say, it'll trigger.
Yeah.
What's he have to say in there? Go back on that. Bang.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
picks up on it. I would pick up on it. And that's probably a gift as
And lads,
this.
we're not, we're not professionals at
No.
this. We're learning as we go along. But and I see there in the back room when we meet on an evening time, and we get little nuggets from other people that are at this all the time. And a little nugget that's come in the last couple of weeks is, don't talk to, have a chat with the guest, but don't ask them any questions
100%.
in the room.
Yeah,
Wait
yeah.
till you come in here.
Yeah.
Hear the rawness of their voice.
Yeah.
There's nothing as good as hearing a gulp or a, oh God, is this conversation going to go heavy?
Yeah. I think you have to allow for that as well, because look, if you're probably going to pigeonhole us, it probably is fucking satire and a bit of comedy and a bit of crack. But I definitely think there's a space for them deep, meaningful conversations, right?
What there
where
is.
You're talking to addicts, you're talking to ex-footballers, or whatever it may be, that it didn't go too well for that period. Like, that's where sometimes it goes, like...
But even I'd say the most emotional one we ever done was the Tony O'Reilly one.
Yes.
Where he was absolutely brilliant, told his story, didn't hold anything back. But then we asked him about his kid. And you could see the tears coming in his eyes.
Yeah.
And as a father, you'd feel it. Like you're pulling at your heartstrings there.
And
So it does affect you in a lot of ways. Like,
and in this room, you cannot judge anyone.
no.
You cannot judge anyone.
No.
You're here to do a job, and you're trying to get them to draw them out, essentially. But you're trying to give them, and I know what G2 guys, you're giving a voice to those guys that are girls that maybe will never get that out there, because they're small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
All right, and you're trying to go right. We're 3 local Carroll boys. Do I call you a leash fella?
No, Carroll, man, I'm Greg Cullen.
No, he didn't even
Sure,
say
I am
leash.
from Greg Cullen.
No.
Papa, he didn't even say
No, he
leash.
said he was
He
leash,
said
was fine.
Greg Cullen.
Sure, I am from Greg Cullen. What do you want me to say, like?
Leash or Carlow?
Free Carlo.
I'm from Greg Cullen, man. Republic of Greg Cullen.
That's not a county.
It doesn't matter. Republic of Greg Cullen. That's it.
The 33rd
Okay.
Live with.
county of Ireland.
Yeah, deal with. Sure, you live in. Where are you from? Palestine. Sorry, Palatine. Will you get off your phone? At least
I'm just
pretend to be
checking the results
interested.
there, bud.
What's the scoreboard?
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
I know. Yeah, well, sure, look, you're Greg Cullen before your Carroll or Leash, in my opinion.
Actually,
yeah.
when you
Well,
say
that's-
that, I actually
yeah.
have a good question for
Let's
you.
get to these, Paddy, because I feel like
actually,
these are going to be
that-
difficult.
This one here. Is this the first year none of the 4 Carlow men's league titles were won by County Carlow clubs?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Let's go.
You would have had
Premier.
Premier. Cretty Yard would have won a Premier. Wolf Hill would have. I don't know if it's in the
No,
same
no,
year
this
though.
year. This year.
Oh, this year, yeah. So you have
St. Pat's.
Greg Cullen Club.
Feeks.
Feeks, Greg Cullen Club. Boughton Glass
Wicklow.
Wicklow.
and Wolf Hill.
Leash.
And Bagnallstown Hanover won the 35s, right?
No, but just the leagues. The 4 leagues.
The 4 leagues.
Yeah.
Is this listener right?
Yeah.
He is right.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's the first year though. It's surely's happened before.
I've never heard of it. Well, think about it, right? So
Like
St.
Parkville
St. Pat's haven't won anything in 20.
Yeah,
what?
but Parkville would have won premiers. Burn Celtic would have won premiers. Cretty Yard would have won. Like
but Parkville
there
are
only 2 in the last 20 years. Only 2 Carroll Town teams have won a premier.
Well, who?
Newark and Hanover.
Yeah.
No, I know Newark might have a lot of them,
True.
but in the last 20 years,
So is this the first year in 20 in ever?
It's a long time.
it's a show. I'd like to.
That is a good one for a quiz.
Yeah, I could look
Well,
on. I could look on the
the
Roll
years
of
the
Honour
years
there,
the Cretty Yard dominated
Hmm.
is obviously a leash one. So you'd have to find out
Yeah.
if a team in Division
First
1,
division, yeah.
1 or 2
Yeah.
was from Carlow. But Cretty Yard dominated there for
Do
a
you,
long time.
do you know
before-
what? You have me
before you
fucking
walked up
interested
up.
now. I have to check it.
I was actually interested in that
You'd have to
question
go
when
to
it came through.
You'd have to go to the
Carroll
lower
League Roll
divisions.
of Honour.
Yeah, but that only give you the
And
Premier, will it?
actually, with that Podge, do you consider St. Pat's a Carlow team or a Leash team?
It's a Greg Cullen team.
Ah, man. Papa.
he's
for
a name me
F's
now.
sake.
He's a name me.
Sure. Do you consider Aston Villa an English team or Birmingham team
English team.
first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I do.
It's a stupid question.
So, Liverpool fan. Two
Yeah.
clubs, Liverpool. Everton, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Are they from Liverpool first or England first?
England.
Have a day off. Will
You have a
Get
folks.
out.
St.
Who
Pat's
you get
or
out?
Carroll team.
We're on about the team.
Yeah. The club. Liverpool
How
as
many
a club.
counties in Ireland?
32.
Well, is there 33?
No.
Well, then where's Grey Cullen from?
Grey Cullen. Listen, Grey Cullen.
Which side of the bridge?
So it doesn't matter. Sure, parts of it, least parts of it, Carroll.
Someone say
Doesn't
goes through
matter.
Fatterburn Park. This side of
The river is the
Is the river
If you talk to
it
anyone
depends as
proper
to what.
old school, right? I'm talking about characters from Grey Cullen who are knocking around a long time. They'll tell you hand on heart that the river is the border. It always was and it always will be.
Right. So Grey Cullen is in Laois.
Is it the
if you
centre?
go off that
So
logic-
Grey
Is
Cullen
it the
is not in Grey
centre
Cullen.
of the river now? Is it the centre of the river or
Paddy, it goes from the bank, you madman. You know, who do you think you are?
Yeah, but the bank swerves, Patch.
Ernest Hemingway or someone going around the place. It's not
He's
Ernest
fisherman.
Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway
He
is an
goes to
author,
different
is
banks.
he?
He goes,
I meant to say Tom Crean. I disappointed myself there. Fuck's sake, that would have been funny and everything, wouldn't it?
Would have been, yeah.
No, it's if you go by that logic, it's a Laois club, right? But you have to put your fucking rationale and logical hat on here and say that majority of his players come from Carroll.
okay?
Like, the thing about soccer is this, right? It's not parochial. Soccer is universal. A lad that plays for his club one year could be playing for St. Pat's the next year. It doesn't fucking matter where you're from.
Yeah.
It's the club, it's the badge you're playing for, and it's the club you're playing for. It's not the area.
And
St. Felix or Grey Cullen. When's the last time Felix played a home game in Grey Cullen?
True. Yeah, we're coming from a GA
That's-
background
you're
myself.
absolutely, you're going every avenue bar the one he's after asking you.
What?
Is it St. Pat's
Is that not a fair point?
from Grey Cullen, County Grey Cullen?
doesn't
Doesn't
matter
exist.
where they're from.
Do you know what
Peter
is-
Pan is not real, but
Do you know a politician that answers a question with a question?
yeah, there he is.
I didn't answer that
Yeah.
with a question. I gave you
Councillor
a
Dial
pure-
here beside me.
It doesn't. Soccer
No,
doesn't.
will he
fucking
represent
matter.
Laois or represent Carroll?
Well, he'll stand at the back of the goal. That's what I do. Yeah, he'll stand at the back of the goal.
It doesn't. The soccer thing doesn't matter, lads. Honestly, if
Do you know
Grant-
what he'll
and
be,
that's
Paddy?
another-
Do
that's
you know what
another-
he'll be? He'll
what?
be on a boat in the middle of the river. That's what he'll be.
okay.
And another question for you, and two soccer men here is from a GA background. We often see a lot of players switching between clubs over
Yeah.
the years in soccer, but GA, it is parochial. It is very much.
Yeah.
You know, like I could count one hand Palatine players have left for other clubs. You know, but in
Very
soccer,
rare.
it seems to be. I was with this team.
It's certainly more common in soccer than it is
Yeah.
in Gaelic football.
Okay. 2014 and 15.
Was it?
Hackenstone won the Division 3, Vale won Division 2, Bottinglass won
Yep.
Division 1, and Crityard won.
Yeah, but Hackettstone's called
Where's
Carroll,
Hackstone?
Podge.
Yeah, Hackstone's in Carroll, Podge.
Carroll Townside, you're talking about.
No, County Carroll.
County Carroll.
No, County Carroll.
Yeah.
Bottinglass, County Wicklow. Hackettstone, County Carroll. Not much of a councillor, are you?
Fair point, well made. I thought you meant town teams. Yeah.
James, have you got a map?
James, can you press pause? I think we all need a fucking break here.
Exit, stage left.
But anyway, there's an example, right, of nothing.
Boys, some of these fucking questions, man.
Did I miss a question? Well, it was.
It was just...
Or were you just talking?
No,
shy?
about
I wasn't talking shit. I
about
was talking about
players.
you. Talking about Grey
About
Cullen, County Grey
players,
Cullen there.
about moving.
That was a
like
mistake.
say from GA background. I'm from a GA background.
Yeah, we all
We
have
don't see
problems.
many players moving.
unless they're say in the public sector where they're a teacher or a guard or you know where they're living in an area.
You
or
know, but I see in soccer, especially in Carroll at home, we see a lot of players moving between clubs. Is
not
that,
in the James McGrath is probably the biggest profile in the last couple of years where he
Okay.
went from Newark to Hanover back to Newark.
Yeah.
Like in the last probably 5 or 6 years, it's probably hasn't been that big of a deal.
Okay.
I think that's why Newark have been so successful because the group they have are loyal to Newark.
And are you seeing the young kids now that are say joining at Little Kickers? Are they now going from Little Kickers to 8s to 9s to 10s to 16s to adult football?
Hey, no, you couldn't.
No,
you
they're going-
and that's the mistake clubs make. Sorry, Papa. That's what I said a few
Yeah.
episodes back. That's the mistake clubs are making. The focus shouldn't be on
Winning a trophy.
winning a trophy.
Okay.
Not that there's nothing wrong with winning. I'm not trying to say take winning away. The focus should be on how many of them 300 juveniles can we get into our first team. That should be the focus. With an understanding that some of them aren't going to play again. Some of them are going to move clubs. Some of them are just going to give up the game for whatever reason. Some of them might even go into coaching. But that's what clubs' target should be. In relation to kids moving clubs, sure.
Look at that. We get that game we said a few episodes back.
Yeah.
Hanover Pats game, under 14s. What a game of soccer. Great
Absolutely
phases of play out
brilliant.
from the back from both sets of teams. Chances, great chance, great goalkeeping. some
exciting,
some
wasn't it?
fantastic soccer. But how
Yeah.
many players will be at that club next year, either at Pats or Hanover? Like,
So you don't know,
you don't know.
especially with CK
You
in
know
the
what I
mix
mean?
there
Where
as
it
well.
was- but already there's 3 or 4 players gone to CK.
Yeah.
And
That's
what's
straight
your
after the game.
thoughts on CK with that? Because as having as someone personal to me that's playing with an underage team, that you know when CK does come in and they take your young fella or take a good player off the team, do you think that's fair to the club, or no, lads, this is an advancement for that player and it's good for CK?
Well, to answer the first, what's your thoughts? Well, I'll answer that. Our thoughts don't matter.
Okay.
Right? And the reason I say that is because it's very easy to sell a young lad a dream when you're going to a higher level. Do you understand me? So what people need to understand is the level they're going to is League of Ireland, right? Which is 2 levels above where they currently are. If you look at, say, your club, your league academy, and the League of Ireland's next.
Yeah.
What I would say to kids is you play for your club and your academy as long as you can, and CK will be there for a long time.
Well, this question from one of your loyal listeners is just perfect for this. Well, lads, what's the best route for a promising young fella to get spotted?
What do you think?
To get spotted.
As in, like, by a big club?
Is it like needle in a haystack?
The
League of Ireland club?
best, my opinion, the best route is this, right? And it's going to sound stupid. Go find an agent. Scouts are a thing of the past.
Are they?
Go find an agency. I think Kevin Hunt is the biggest agency in Ireland at the moment.
So you're telling me, Podge, I can just ring a number now and say, can you, if I pay a fee, you will get my young fella or young girl to...
Yeah, but if your man comes down and he has feet like Sideshow Bob, do you know what I mean? The agent's going to sign him. But if you have a young guy that's played a bit, regardless of what level, but you're not going to go to him at 16s. He's going, you're too late.
Okay.
He's going to say 12s, 13s, 14s.
Okay.
Is he in the academies? Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, a nice fee will get you over to England.
Right. Okay.
But you have to pay for it.
But you have to pay for that.
Yeah. But that's the process, though. That's but hey,
Years ago, you might have seen a scout at a game like that the other night. The top 2 teams in the division under 14 saying, I'm going to pick up this lad when he's young. No, they don't. They go to a big game in Dublin, a SFAI game or the Kennedy Cup finals or 2 semi-finals, basically. That's all they go to.
So the scouts are not going to the games anymore?
No, they go to the venue about the match. And they don't give a shit who's in the match.
Right.
But that's this. They're obviously there for a semi-final for a reason. They're going, let's go watch these.
Okay.
There could be better players that are missing previous rounds that got beat in the last 16 or last 32 that don't get spotted.
Okay.
but you go to the Kennedy Cup. I
You know,
remember my first Kennedy Cup was 19 years ago. I was 21. Right? Scouts, if you throw a stone, you hit 6 scouts. They were everywhere. Every club.
Are you saying scouts from England?
Yeah, unbelievably represented. You've been to the Kennedy. Patrick Dacker Nolan has been to the Kennedy Cup. My comrade for Kennedy Cups for 20 odd year. He'd tell you the same. You couldn't throw a stone without hitting 5 of them. They were everywhere.
I couldn't believe it.
From all the
my
clubs.
first year down there.
The last time I was in the Kennedy Cup, and then you build a connection, you kind of network with these lads, and they give you their card, and you get their name. And by the time my last Kennedy Cup in 2019, I think it was, I had 3 contacts that year from scouts. In previous years, and that girl verified this, in previous years you could have 3 calls a day. A day. Where's your next academy game? How's your Kennedy Cup squad going? Do you have anyone for me?
Okay, so they were looking for the names of the players.
100%. What month of the year is he born in?
For what's your left full like? I need a left full. What's your right full like?
Yeah.
Or what's your 6 like? Or what's your centre forward like? What's your keeper like? Can he distribute? Can he pass? Can he kick?
And are them calls, they're not happening anymore?
They're not.
But 2
Well,
reasons.
they're less anyway.
2 reasons is I haven't got a call in a... That's a lie. I have got calls, but I haven't got calls to that level where people are grilling me over whatever. 2 reasons has changed. League of Ireland, where scouts are going to them clubs now because it's a better level, and agencies, as I just said.
Okay.
That's the 2 big reasons.
And is it... So, a young fella from, or a young girl from Carroll League Soccer, what's the progression? Is it CK United?
Well, I think the girls' pathway is a little bit different because the girls' football at the minute is on a crest of a wave.
Okay.
Because the league, I know the Men's League of Ireland is catching up, but the Women's League of Ireland's been well established now for 10 or 15 years.
And I see
well
it's on TG Cahir now.
Yeah, it's on TG Cahir last 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
But that's super well established. So the pathway into them clubs now is, like you have said, a girl from Thomastown, Ellen Malloy, who went to Sheffield United.
Brilliant.
Right? And she came back, but the levels never changed. So she went from Sheffield United, I don't know what division they're in England, but a professional setup, back into Wexford. The only thing that's probably changed is maybe the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the standard hasn't, it's not, it's like you see more of them players in the Irish squads now from 16s the whole way up. Like, the standard of ladies football is a lot different, so the pathway is a lot different.
It's hard to keep at that level, though. Like,
Yeah.
you have to admire what Katie McCabe done.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
winning the Champions League with Arsenal there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
She
the
went
other day,
She
actually.
went
Yeah.
from Ireland to England, but got better when England. And she's after progressing, and I think she's Ireland's best player.
And
obviously.
I've been at a couple of women's international games, and it's just the atmosphere.
It's brilliant.
It's absolutely brilliant up in the Aviva. They've done so well, and it's a pity they didn't qualify the last time.
I done my B license. I've said a story before. I done my B license in 2008, I think. I can't remember. 2008, yeah. And then 2009, you have to do a reassessment. I was sent up to an under-19s game in Tallaght Stadium.
This is right, I remember this.
Qatar ladies 19s versus Ireland's ladies 19s. And you're given a topic to assess. My topic was Qatar in the final third.
Right.
So they went in with 11 women within 35 yards to go and never come out.
So you can't do the assessment.
You can't do assessment. So the point I make is,
Oh, right,
so
okay.
you go to a game, and there might have been 20 in the stadium. You go to a game now, 2 proper setups, proper chefs, proper systems, atmosphere. Like, that game has come on in so much in the last 20 years, it's unbelievable. We had Kylie Murphy on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a megastar of the game.
What a footballer.
This country. Oh, megastar. Like,
But there's also lads that given his topic. So his topic was Qatar in the final third.
yeah.
There's lads, coaches that wouldn't have picked up what he done and goes, your man comes over, where's your assessment? Sure, didn't write anything
I
down.
had to change it.
Why? Sure. Didn't do anything in the final third. Sure, do something else. He changed it himself.
I changed it myself.
Right.
Yeah.
He changed it himself. Like.
So I worked on Qatar in a low block.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And your B license,
Yeah.
how long does that take?
My B license was a week in Enfield.
That was the fuck off, Podge.
That felt like a month. So it's a week away. It's proper. The first day I went there, like, McManaman was there. Stephen Bradley was on it. It was kind of a weird one. McManaman, McAteer and Bradley were on their last day and we were on our first day. So it kind of dovetail.
Right. Were you not? Were you?
No, I didn't give a shit. He was there to coach.
What that?
He's from Greg Cullen, County Greg Cullen.
He's from the 33rd county. I don't
I'm
give a
gonna
shit.
get James take that. That was ridiculous. Then I blacked out.
He's going to get some pat in the back when he crosses the bridge tonight. Fair play to you.
Boxing, he comes over the far side.
The funny thing is, I don't live across the bridge anymore. That's the fucking funny thing about it. No, but it was a week away. It was good. It was great. But I was really young. I was sure. Jesus, I don't know how many years ago it is. But I was in my early 20s, like, and I was doing a bit with FC Carroll, and so I felt like I had to progress. But as I've said many times, I wouldn't pay another cent to a coaching course.
Would you not?
I think they're absolutely draconian. I think there's no
But
need for them.
Is it about that cert?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
if you have
You won't get
aspirations,
anywhere without it.
yeah.
but if you have aspirations to go be Pep Guardiola, or even you, Stephen Bradley, as an example, or Damien Duff, go get them by all means. But you won't. I always compare it to the driving license. See, to pass your driving license, you drive that way once.
Yes.
Coaching's the very same. Yeah. To get that fucking coaching license, to be license, whatever it is. And there's lads I know who are A license, UEFA elite A license coaches, and they coach in their club. But you'll only coach like that once to get that license. You understand me? That's why I think they're stupid.
It's just to meet the requirements at the time.
This is a dumb question.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between a B license and an A license? Because I haven't a clue.
Just a step up. Just so you're so. The system's actually changed when I done it. I think you have a UEFA C now. Do you? Is there a UEFA D
I'm
and
not sure.
UEFA
I
C?
don't. I'm not that interested in being honest.
I'll tell you. I'll give you a good one. My very first coaching course was in St. Leo's.
Right.
Paul Sheridan. John McGrath was on it. Gerard Cuddy was on it. I think Ray McKenna was on it. A few of us. And basically he showed us about 20 drills over a Saturday and a Sunday.
That was it.
And that was it. And then my next one, I went to college and did my next one, and there was lads selling notes. Because they wouldn't give you a printout. So there was lads selling notes on soccer. I was thinking, this is fucking ludicrous. The fuck? It's evolved and progressed. But see, what happens is, I feel like I'm taking over this, Papa, sorry.
No, it's
What happens is, you see,
you're qualified. I'm not.
you look at the FAI.
Him and his head.
Hey, come here. You're a fucking businessman, right? Do you think the FAI are doing this to churn out coaches or doing this to float their bank balance? And I'll tell you before you make your answer.
Mm.
It was €900 to do the B licence.
Okay.
I think it was 1,200 to do your A. And
Not
it's
cheap.
It's about $2,500 to do your Elite A. Bear in mind, I think it's the most expensive in Europe.
Right.
So
Okay.
why do you think the FEI were turning coaches through that?
Yeah, money.
Fucking 110%.
And just on that, and if there's a young person listening to this and they're thinking about getting their badges, like what is the progression after doing an A license, right? Is it, geez, I have my A license now. Like, what do I do? Do I
Travel
go
the
to a club? Do I go
abroad.
do I go to a district league and go?
Pick up your piece of paper, you're qualified,
Mm.
and go off to Australia like most of them are doing,
Is that what to do?
America.
and get your job.
Get your job.
Not coaching, but get your job.
Right.
So I'm a qualified accountant now. I don't want to stay in Ireland.
Okay.
I can go anywhere and get an accountancy job,
Okay.
or plumber, or whatever your trade is. And once you're qualified, you're qualified. It's the same in coaching.
But we're probably not. I'm probably not fit to answer that anymore because I don't
No.
like. I don't know. I'm kind of. I
Bit
don't know.
out of the window, I mean.
So, yeah, but see, when I was on my B license, there was an opportunity there for a development officer, maybe, or something. Do you know what I mean? But
But you look how far it's come. Like Podge saying, he did his in St. Leo's. There was other lads there a couple of years back doing it in the college with Robbie Keane, Carlos Codicini, and Demi Duff.
Yeah, like
Carroll, like.
imagine them names in Carroll.
In Carroll.
And look, and with that, like down in Setu, Carroll, IT there, they have is it soccer with business?
yeah, soccer business things. Soccer.
Do you know? So
beyond,
the student now they're having something beside the game itself.
But you would find a lot of them lads going through that FEI course. Now, it could be wrong, but it's only my observation. A lot of them are actually going into clubs on the analysis side of things, on the strength and condition side of things. Not many of them are actually going into clubs to be a fucking coach anymore.
Okay.
You know, because there's like, this is the whole thing about coaching. There's so many different avenues now. Like Midtjylland FC, right? Your man that bought it, their whole thing is on. Did you ever see Moneyball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is on that. Buying player,
The
regardless of
percentages.
So there's actually a space for that now.
Yes.
People. Like, I remember doing analysis when I was in college doing it, and there was this thing called Pros on. And I thought, this is fucking revolutionary. But she was like a 16-bit Sega Mega Drive game. compared to you going to the system. And I remember going, this is 7 or 8 years ago, and the IT been brought into their analysis room. Ah, man.
And when you say analysis, Podge, and obviously from looking after the socials and what we get weekly from clubs now in Carroll is the Vivo. Is that what it's called? Vivo. Like for even small clubs now having this, you know, for their arsenal of looking at other clubs and looking the way they're doing passage of plays. I presume it's expensive enough system to get. I don't know.
It's not cheap, no.
But just to even go to a game in Carroll and just see, oh my God, fair play to them. They're actually analysing what they're doing here. And that young fella that's coming up, you know, or young girl that's coming up and they're 14, 15 or 16, and the coach comes to you, you know, instead of going left, shift right because we see in your game. Like that information is just, and I think from a club perspective in my own club, GA, we wouldn't have that at every game.
No.
Yeah, but you can. But see, it's a fantastic tool, but you have to use it correctly because I probably wouldn't use it for kids.
No, it's to be honest.
Because you're only going to overcoach.
No,
You're going to coach a bit of magic over them, aren't you?
You're square peg and round hole.
Like even adults. Say I've used it with Pats this year, but it's my analysis goes to the manager, and I'd tell him where I feel we had deficiencies in shape rather than personal mistakes. Because you can't go back and change the personal mistake.
No.
But you can. I firmly believe that you can change the actual physical shape of a team in a couple of nights. But
actually, I have a bugbear on cameras at pitches.
We caught Robin something, bud.
Not the last time.
Again.
The camera that's situated on the side of the pitch and it's following the ball. I picture that the camera should be at either end of the pitch.
Tried it.
Well,
disaster area.
Is it?
Recorded the session last year because I wanted to have a look at the back four from a different view. From behind the back four, and it was a disaster.
And were you not watching the formation of the back four or back three?
The VEO has a little sneaky blind spot. So if you look at the VEO, and there's like a little like the fucking equator going on in the middle of it. Because the camera goes like that, right?
Yes.
So there's a little blind spot when the match.
Ah.
So there's a crossover. So if you can imagine if you have a back four and you're looking at the back of them and the back four move like that, it's just players cut in half.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, because I'm wondering how, when that ball is played in or attacking, how the back four shift left, shift right, push out, push back in.
Yeah.
And as a coach and as a manager, how are you able to view that? Is it, how can you look back on a video that's square at a sideline? It's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy. You won't see everything. So what you concentrate on in relation to the back four when you're looking at the VEO is their second movements after we clear it.
Okay.
So I'm looking at a centre half header on the ball. My thing as a coach is if a centre half clears the ball 20 yards, we go half that distance. So we go 10 yards.
Okay.
Right? So I'm looking at him clearing it, and then I'm seeing how far is he going and how far are the lads are behind him.
Okay.
Because it's not biting him heading it and going and the three boys there standing like that looking at him. Do you know what I mean?
I'm intrigued just listening to you about the passage of play on a pitch, and I presume Hanover have your systems. And do you have to work on them during the week, Poppa?
Oh, you do.
Does the number 4 need to know where he has to go? Does the number 6?
The majority of players know what position to play in.
Okay.
But there's a couple of players who are just versatile.
Okay.
Every club has them.
Okay.
That they play in different positions. But you do work on shape, but it's harder for we go to the college because we've no full size Astro.
Okay.
Pats will have their own Astro and fair play to them. But it often hear coaches years ago what used to do was before the VO or before anything like this come in, these coaching badges and that, tie a rope around the lad. The back four.
Done it, yeah.
The right full, the two centre halves, the left full. When the left full goes over, I'm jerked.
He shifts.
Yeah, and it's like a true statement. You won't see it till you believe it.
Okay.
And that's what happens. And these coaches done this years ago. Before there was any coaching badges or anything like this in, they said, I don't know what you mean. What? There's no video to look back and say, show me. Sure, I can't show you. When he goes up, you have to shift across. Wait, pass the centre half. No, don't pass out each other. Left full goes, 3 move across. Back you come like this way and the ball goes far side to it. Right full goes, tuck in across. And that's what they used to do years ago.
And do you think it's gone a bit robotic?
Yeah.
It's OTT.
100%.
Yeah, there's too much information.
You still have the funny thing. The funny thing about coaching a team defending is, right, no matter what shape you're in, no matter what system you play, no matter what your style is, when you're fucking defending, rule number 1, win the fucking ball. Right? Doesn't matter if I'm in a 3 or if I'm in a 4 or if I'm a 5. If it's in your fucking zone and you're the closest man, go fucking win it. That shape's out the window. So this is where people, in my opinion, get things wrong. The principles of defending will never change.
No.
Regardless of the shape you're in. The only thing that changes in relation to the shape you're in is the distance. So to be a good defender, you have to understand 2 things. Distance and space.
Right. Okay.
So the distance I am away from the ball and where I need to be to get to that ball. Because the hardest thing to coach in defending, I always find, is getting players to move while the fucking ball is moving.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, are you ground football or hit it on up?
There's space for everything.
Okay.
I like the ball on the ground, but Badger will disagree with me completely. I prefer shutouts. I prefer keeping clean sheets rather than going playing really
winning 6-4 or something.
If you don't fucking concede, first of all, you're not getting bet. No, call it negative if you want.
I actually think Pete Dargan?
Pete Dargan, yeah.
Pete Dargan had what a stat.
2.5. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
That was just...
The amount of people say that to me, yeah.
Myself and James were in back on, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
2.5.
But there's no coaching course or license going to tell you that, like.
No. But like...
You know what
Tell
I
you a
mean?
madman, I'd say.
But like, you think of it like Carroll District Soccer, Division 1, and you have a manager over a team that looks at that going, if we win 2.5 points per game, we're going to be league champions.
Average 2
Yeah.
points.
Like that's like, holy shit, I want to win something here.
Yeah.
And if you want to win as a team, lads, forget about the clean sheets. We've got to go for it. Okay, we've got to score more than the other team, and that's it. Not closing shop. You know, and some graw I see is the striker up by himself, and it's just all this 10 lads or 9 lads behind the ball, and you're like, man, will you just pass it out wide or get across in, get something in? Do you think soccer has gone a bit too defensive?
I don't think defensive is the word. I definitely think that it's gone super negative. I love watching teams that can get it from back to front as early as possible, but that depends on the movement in front of the guy passing the ball, right?
And the quality of the person you're passing it to.
And exactly. Because at the end of the day, I'm a really, really strong believer of this. It's the quality in players that wins games, not the coach or the manager. It's the fucking quality of players on that day of that match will win you the game. Do you know what I mean?
You go and look at a proper, really, really good over 35s game.
Lads that have been around it.
Lads have been around the block and played at a good level and really good teams. Yeah. And trust me when I say it, no, you take you're in your walk and your Pats and the top teams in the Premier of it. But take a good 35s team, right? And look at not get around the field in legs. The intelligence of the pass to read where the player is coming to you. Don't knock it in behind and ask a lad at 38 years of age running behind. They're exceptional players. Like Willie Calvin's probably the fastest striker in the league.
For Pat's rapid as well.
Right, for Pat's as well. But he's not going to run over the ball and chase it down the goalkeeper. So it's the intelligent way you play, but you add legs to that.
Yeah.
Some 35 team would give most Division 1, 2, 3 teams a proper good game. And on intelligence alone.
Yeah, and when you say that about an older player or whatever, so say the number 6 role.
Yeah.
And you see a lad that's played in the 6 role all his life, or a girl, whatever.
It didn't exist, Paddy, years ago.
Right. But the good ones.
It did.
The good one, you
didn't know you were doing it.
You'll never see them tired because they know how to play the game. Yeah. They know how to shape. Whereas an inexperienced 6, they don't know where to be. No. They're running all over the place.
I've gone past that 6 thing.
Have you?
Yeah. I think it's just, I actually seen Skull say it the other day. Why are you midfielders getting numbers now?
Yeah.
He wasn't let into Old Trafford there a couple of weeks ago.
Was he not?
Yeah, he could. His ticket was taken off him.
Go ahead.
Lads, if you weren't into soccer or managing, what other sport hobby would you like to manage?
I'm going to let you go first.
That's right.
I have one. This is the first time I've seen this question.
I think it is.
Right, and I've had this idea for a long time. Right, it's not sport related.
James, write this down. Right. We're going to make millions.
Strap in. Strap fucking in. Strap on. Strap in. I don't know if this
Papa's used today.
I don't know if
this house of pain he's gone into. Look.
Yeah. Fuck up, you spa. Right. I don't know if this has been done before. I was out getting breakfast this morning. Right. In a coffee
Vegan?
shop. No, I actually had eggs Benedict. They're beautiful. Anyway.
I don't know what's going to come over this lad's mouth here, look.
Anyway, I was sitting down. I was on my own. I like going by myself, doing my own little thing, playing my phone, whatever, right? Your one that was serving me was super nice, right? And I understood why. Because I was working on the podcast, I had that book and pen on the table beside me. So my mind is saying, what's she thinking? She fucking thinks I'm a reviewer. She thinks she's never seen me before. She thinks I'm here to review.
Did you start pretending you were a reviewer?
I played her all. I played her all to the point that when she came over with the menu, I asked her, what would you recommend? And that's why I had eggs Benedict, because I never had it before in my life.
I had a job out the window when it's all over your mouth.
So my fucking hobby would be to go to different restaurants around the country on my own with a pen and pad and make it super visible. And right, when the waiter comes and gives you the menu, ask them, what would you recommend? Right? And when they come back with your drink, close the pad real quick, like that. Right? And then when she goes, when she's walking away, open it again and pretend to start writing. You will get the best VIP treatment of all fucking time.
And the most important
that would be my hobby.
Especially when it comes to food.
Did you get it for free?
What?
Did you pay for it?
Oh, no, but double. No, listen. I tell you what I got. I got the best fucking service free of charge. Right? Food you pay for. Right, fair enough. It's a business. We all make money. She came down with 2 extra slices of toast with me. That wasn't on with the thing with jam. I'm a fiend for toast and jam. You better believe they got one fondled. I walked out with butter on my cheeks and everything. I said she reviewer. I said she thought I was out dipping us by the time I left the place. But that'd be my hobby. I think that's genius. Do you not think that's genius?
Did you ever see the film Burnt?
With
Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see a film Burnt.
About, like, he's a top class chef with.
That's where he comes out and whips the
drinking drugs. But to say when you're in a Michelin star restaurant, going back to what he's after saying, the food reviewer, if you want to call him, a restaurant reviewer, that someone's after coming in and ordering an and asked for an extra glass. That's the key.
She
to
could
it.
have
That's the
actually
key
felt
to-
sorry for him too.
Well, she
sitting on
could
his
have,
own.
but that's the key to that thing. Do you know what I mean? But that film is an accurate description of what he's after.
Oh, I was wearing balaclava at the time.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
joking.
yeah.
And you, Pop?
Sure, look, I don't know. Like, I'd probably be sports related. I'm always... I love sports. I probably would have... I love coaching kids in golf, being honest. I did a bit, but I only started playing when I was 30, really. Started playing golf. I didn't play it as a young age at all. I played pitch and putt all right, and I loved it in that. But then I didn't really commit to one sport. I sort of played every single thing. Like, I could do anything. You know, it's just... Pick up one sport. I'd probably just pick one sport to stick to it, I'd say, at the start, and have a proper go of golf if I could.
There was a video last week about your experience in golf, Papa. You shanked it to the right there.
No,
Is there
that was-
anything that you can?
Yeah, I can
I know
confirm
you
this.
said if I hit it to the right, how do I?
He was close. He wasn't knocked out with Marbella, let me tell you. That ball went straight down the middle of the fucking practice area, let me tell you. Yeah, and he did it on purpose. All right. I said, what's he up to saying here? Have you? And the ball tracer was gone down the way. Two lads behind me like this with the flags going. James knows what I'm on about.
I do enjoy other sports.
I know,
but-
I love it. I love watching.
Yeah, I'd watch lawn balls. Why are you laughing at? It's a fucking deadly serious sport, man. That's professional. Everything. I would watch, and I'd watch fly wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Insect grappling, whatever you want to call it. I'd fucking watch anything on sport. But the only one I ever really had a graw and a love for, I was like, this is brilliant, is actually football. It's soccer. It's the only one where
Do you not find soccer at times boring on the TV?
Yeah,
I would,
100%.
Paddy, yeah.
100%.
I think that's
support
what the
Man
killer
United,
can
man.
be of watching football at times.
But do you not find the guy boring?
the guy was
Don't
bored.
tell me the
we'll
rules
just
of-
forget about, say, hurling, right? That's just on a different level. But the football was gone to shit.
Paddy, even the hurling's gone boring. This whole thing of hurling's great, it's gone it's gone shit. No systems, no style,
but like
launch.
You know the clash, Ash, the men, like soccer.
Like Lee scoring a goal against Carroll there a couple weekends ago.
4 minutes at a time.
Where was your man from?
Yeah,
Great colour,
yeah.
Oh, he's
great
from
colour.
Leash now.
Oh, yeah.
He's from Leash now.
No,
He's
but
changing his
like,
attitude, isn't he?
I think too much of anything can be boring, right?
Absolutely. Like the GA the football had to change the rules. Now, when you see Donegal scoring a goal and 22 points now in the game, that just shows you where it's changed. The old Jim McGuinness was, get 5 points and let's defend. He can't do it anymore because teams are going to come at you, right? So something had to be done. I think with soccer, and there was a big call made on the weekend with Villa. I'm a Villa supporter, so I'm a Villa grieves over it.
It's an expensive
A
call,
very
isn't it?
expensive one. But,
Goal 100% by the way.
like the flow
Oh,
of
it was, yeah.
the flow of sorry, I know with VAR like is VAR coming in now, is that another kind of an American football kind of a thing? Stop play, let's have a look at it.
Yeah, but the VAR wouldn't have helped that Villa one, Paddy. 'cause the
no, I
referee was
understand it,
whistling.
but I'm just
Yeah.
saying in general, like, are we
It's a
stopping the
bad
game?
decision, though, Podge.
But
Like,
do
it's
you know
not
what?
a foul.
Do you know what I pick up from that though, Papa? Why is there a rule that referee blows the whistle for the
Yeah.
ball hits
Yes.
the net? It's not go.
Like,
What a
is
fucking
the idea,
stupid
is the
rule.
idea of VAR there to improve a bad decision or help resurrect a
referee,
bad
yeah.
decision? That's a bad decision. Whether they're down to 10 men or not, Man United are not good. Aston Villa scored first, they would have dug in and done a shift.
Listen
I
to
believe
what I
no
tell you.
problem. But look, it didn't happen. You can't.
No man or woman on this earth likes to be told they're wrong. First of all, that's why that whistle rule is in it. Because they don't want to go and be told they're wrong. If you listen to the recording on the Liverpool game last year, where your man is like, no, that's a penalty. Man's like, no, play on, no penalty.
Yeah. The one with Diaz against Spurs.
Doesn't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like with VAR, are we taking the excitement of it now? Like even
Well, I
if it
tell you-
was offside,
Yeah, no.
it's
Well, I'll tell you what you haven't taken over. Human error, because it's still there.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
no matter how advanced the fucking technology
as bad
is,
as ever, it's ever.
it's still a human making the fucking decision.
I from coaching on a Sunday morning, Paddy, and being out there Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, going looking at kids' games or youth games on a Saturday, and then Sunday morning, you're like, the last thing I'll do will go home is watch a soccer match.
Yeah.
Unless Liverpool are playing.
Yes.
Then I go home and watch Liverpool. But other than that, I'd be
I
like,
watch United every
I
week.
love the tactics of Formula One.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
That is absolute magic to me. That's honestly, like I'd watch more Formula One than golf, I'd say.
Do you know what I
Would you
started
not?
watching?
I watched, but like even there the weekend, it was like I had to bring in a rule for Monaco where it's a two pit stops. You know, it was like you have one pit stop, but you won't get through a race without it. So 78 laps because it's a small track. There's minimal overtaking in Monaco. You're going through the street of Monaco, so there's only one little section where you can overtake. So what does it come down to? Tactics in the dugout or the pit area, whatever you want to call it. So they have to get the pit right. Because I think since 2000 or 1986 or 2001, if you haven't finished in the top 3, you haven't won a race in Monaco.
Right.
That hasn't happened any other race in the world. And it's absolutely, like, my friends will laugh at me when I say, I'd sit down and watch the Saturday, I love. The Friday, I love. Absolutely live for it. I love it. I'd be going to one next year. I love it.
What about your man from Offaly in the Formula 2?
He's going to go good, yeah.
Mark, is he? Mercedes?
No, he's
Mercedes, I think.
Yeah, he's in Mercedes, yeah. He's going to go.
Actually, there's a new Netflix series there on NASCAR. You watch that? The tactics alone and that as well.
It's magic.
It's magic.
It's all on the tyres.
Yeah.
Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Going back to Gaelic football, we always say to the young fellas to watch basketball. The screening.
Yeah.
Of how that can transform your game, especially as a forward, and how pairs and threes work together. You know, look at American football, how a quarterback, controls the game. The different angles, and you say diags quite a lot in here. You're looking at diags on NFL as well. So there's a lot of sports that
you ask the greatest basketball team of all time, Chicago Bulls. You ask Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, they wouldn't win that without Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? Workhorse.
Yeah, but you need them on every team.
You know, they had...
Gattuso done it, like, do you know what I mean? You could say Keane done it for United. You could say...
Sure, you'd nearly say Guardiola was the first 6 ever come into the game in that Barcelona team.
Was he?
And look at him now, he's probably tactically the best coach in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to answer this. Give us one word to describe each other as a person and football/coaching ability. I actually, maybe Poppa, you said about Podge, and Podge, you said about Poppa.
That's the question, Paddy.
Give us a word to describe each other
as a person,
and as a football/coaching.
Loud.
Oh, which one's that culture?
A person.
So Podge is loud.
Coach, no, as a person.
As a person.
Yeah, but he's cutting across you there all the time. He's ignorant as well. I have a couple of words. I know. I'd say coach, genius in our level.
Take that all day long.
Absolute genius. Yeah.
James, get the builder in.
Yeah.
Knock down the walls.
Person.
What do you mean our level? I'm joking.
Person. It's actually quietly confident, not confident. He's not cocky. Where difference in confidence and cocky. And he's not cocky, but he knows his ability. So he's, as a person, quietly confident. As a coach, genius.
Are you strongly opinionated, Podge?
Anyone that knows me, any of my really good friends, and I'd consider Pop a really good friend. I'm actually a fairly quiet, sombre kind of chap, to be honest with you.
Happy-go-lucky?
No, quiet. Like I said to you, you go for a pint with him.
Yeah.
You'd hear me before you hear him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's probably just the person I am, but he's just sits there, not really a fan of drink.
Yeah.
Loves going to the top shelf, a couple of little whiskies and happy days. He'd easily sit in the pub for 10 hours and have a look at it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, people are different, but he's
I don't.
It's what you see on this is like in this podcast, Paddy, right? He's in control. And I trigger off things from him. He says something and I react on that. I might say something funny, whatever it is. But he seems in control in this. If we're going for a pint, I say it's the other way around, I'd say.
100%.
Where, Mom, Patrick, go here, or lads that come over and talk to me, whatever, from doing the post or playing golf or playing soccer, whatever it is. They just say, oh, that's Podge, yeah. They wouldn't really know him because he didn't play the sport.
Yeah.
But he's a coach that I'd never, ever be.
Okay.
You know, he's a good guy.
You're right. I'd be quiet. I'd be fierce. I'd be fierce.
Contained.
Yeah, I love my own company.
That's brilliant. So
I fucking love my own company.
So if you were to go to Tully's, you'd rather just be up there at the counter with a paper in your hand, reading it.
The best time in my life I ever had in my life, apart from my wedding, right? I was going out with a girl.
Was it me in Vegas?
No, that was the worst thing. I was going out with a girl, right? And we had booked
with the strap on.
Strap-on's called the wall. I was going out with a girl and we booked a trip to New York. And we broke up. So being stubborn, I said, I'm going to New York. So I went to New York. We done 5 days in New York by myself. And it was the best time I ever had in my life. My life. I swear to God, it was fucking brilliant.
Was that because you didn't have to pay for anything?
Of course I had to pay for things, right? Got to eat and all that, man. Terrible comment.
I'm afraid
Just the fact that it was
what you're
on.
going to say about me.
The fact that it was on me on. The fact that it was on me fucking on. Able to
it's
float around. I fucking love it. Brilliant. Best ever.
And if I was to ask you the same question about
Predator and overrated. No, I tell you, a gent, absolute gent, and probably one of the most charismatic people I ever met in my life. So one word for as a person would be charisma. And as a player, I'd say tidy. And as a coach, I'd say a sponge, because you only had to tell him once. I know that from working with him. You only had to tell him something once. He always asked the right questions. Why are you doing that, Podge? Why are we doing that? And it's a strange job, because from working a small bit of time we had in the academy together, I know for a fact if I done a drill on, say, with the academy, Poppa would take that. But some lads would take it and do it in the wrong context. Poppa would take it and do it how it was invented. Do you understand me? And that's the difference between an internet coach and someone who understands the game. Right? So, charismatic, tidy player, and a sponge when it comes to coaching.
Sponge.
And
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Poppa, I have a lovely thing here from an anonymous person. It says, "Hey Poppa, question from your totally anonymous, definitely not your next door neighbour. Exactly how long did you moonlight as a postman?"
Oh, sending the
Go
question
on,
like that.
give us the answer. How long are you at?
First of all, I never moonlight. It's a mankini, boys. No, it's I don't know who asked a question like that. Moonlight? No, I never moonlight.
How long are you at?
Post?
Yeah.
17 years.
I'm only asking because for the last 17 years, my letters have gone on a grand tour of every mailbox in the county except mine, and I never had the heart or stamp to tell you.
That is Eric Robinson writ all over that.
Is it?
Oh, it's Eric Robinson writ all
Is it?
over that question, yeah. 100%, yeah. A Moonlight, Mr. Moonlight. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Would it be a good idea for Carroll League to set up an under-20s division like in Kildare?
No. Too small.
Too small?
Yeah. Youths, like if you have a good player, I would agree with 2 years at youths.
Yeah.
I would agree with 2 years at youth, so no 17s. So once you finish 16s in your club, straight into your youth setup. So 2 years at youths, I think is a good step then to get into your junior side, wherever you're playing at.
That age group would learn more in the senior time than they would in under 20s team.
I agree.
Okay.
And the league is too small.
Conversation over. That's it. The league is, there's not enough teams in it either, but you can't buy teams. You can only work what you have there. And there's not enough teams, and if I put a player of 18 years of age into a the Pats team, or even like a Hanover team, Critty Yard team, Parkville team, New York team, they'll learn more in that team than would in under 20s team in the teams that you have your availability in Carroll.
Right, okay. And, sorry, just to go back to progression. Are we at the stage in Irish Soccer, League of Ireland? Are players going to be getting a decent wage now?
Yeah, I think for those of you with the live show, I think you could hear what Shane Keegan said when he said that it won't be long before players are on that 5,000, 7,000, 8,000 a week.
Wow.
Not too far away from it.
And you think that's great for Irish football because they're not going across. But, sorry, with that, are we lacking something? Are we lacking the academies in these clubs in League of Ireland?
No.
I won't stop going across, Paddy, because
Will it not? No.
you could be a League 2 player and be on.
It's the dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
To play in England, you could be in a bottom tier. You're in the top tier in Ireland, earning, say, 7,000 a week, which is the max you'll get.
Okay.
And you could be in a team in the League 2, or that's going to be promoted Division 1, you could be on 15 or 20. Depending on
in League 2.
the people who's owning the club, is kind of crack. You know, it's
The one thing you have to remember,
Irish soccer's developing all the time.
the one thing you have, and people forget with professional footballers, is the length of your career.
Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for someone like you, Paddy, who probably makes about $3,000 a week, right? tax free.
And
tax free.
2.5 goes to you guys doing this
half of it was
podcast.
in cash. No, but you know what I mean. So if you look at someone's life who would work from say 25 to 65, 40 years, a footballer has 19 years of age till 30.
That's a good career.
That's a good at professional football.
You'll play longer, but earning a good wage at that.
100%.
Yeah.
So the problem with professional footballer is how they actually manage money rather than the amount of money they get.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Favourite guest, lad, so far? You've done over years podcasts, and
that's a good question.
we're up to episode. Remind me, James. 64.
This is 64. Yeah.
64, lads. Congrats. 64 podcasts. Usually, there's a stat out there. If you get past 12, you're doing well. So congrats.
Probably stumbled past them.
Yeah. But it's
1, 13, 26, 49.
Who has been your favourite guest, and what's your reasoning? Tough question.
I think the groundbreaking one for me, Papa, sorry if I go first, was Anthony Byrne. It's a story that I heard rumours about for years around Carroll, but to have the man sitting in front of me and tell me his story was, I think it drove us a level. Because I think we were saying, right, there's actually lads here with backgrounds and backstories and sob stories and good luck stories and heartache that that play on people's emotions,
but probably didn't have the channel to
110%
to get it out there, I presume.
Look, it was
back to what you said, Paddy.
Yeah,
everybody has a voice.
and I would never say anything negative.
And everyone has a story.
I would never say anything negative on James or Chris, our last producer. James, our current producer, but he was a gentleman, and he actually kicked us towards this place and said, "Lads, go for it." But I never forget him walking in the door after that, and his face was white.
I couldn't believe it, yeah.
He's like, "Lads, you're onto something here." And I think that changed it completely for us, that guest.
Wow.
And for me, that's why he'd be my favourite.
Sure. I had to take a picture of him in work. About 3 weeks later, I was fed up, people stopped me. Wait, all the norm is he's a fantastic runner, right? Is it a lad who runs all the time, or does he lab with no hair? Is lab with hair? And he said, I'm going to send you fucking pictures. I have them on my phone. And I used to send it. Yeah, here's the picture coming. People saying to me, like, you imagine going from Hackestown to Tala Hospital, stopping every 20 minutes to take 4 fire brigade men out, putting 4 fresh ones in to keep the angle of a machine so you don't lose your arm.
Wow.
Cutting the top of an ambulance off like a bean can.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's
and the question, what was the question we asked him at the end, Podge? Is it regret or...
Oh, Jesus, Papa. I asked him...
You asked him a question at the end and I just tweaked the whole... It was like...
I asked him... go listen to it, lads.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We'll actually put that up on the... we'll actually put the episode number up.
The question I asked him was... Would you change anything? Would you change anything? Was it?
No, it wasn't that, Podge. We'll have to get it because
I can't
it was a brilliant question, Paddy. It was like
pin drop.
You know, like a film. Not a film, A Time to Kill.
Yes.
Close your eyes. There's the kid lying there. Now imagine she's white, and the kid, everyone's saying, "Oh, it's a black kid. It doesn't matter." It was like, no, the kid is white. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
When he asked him the question, it was like, was it something about regret, Podge? Well, we'll get it for you and put it up on the socials, Paddy.
But
it's absolutely.
The answer was weird. He was like, no. He wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. Brilliant guest. What a fucking guest! Like, what a guest.
Lads, why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What's your favourite guest, first of all?
Yeah, actually, what's your favourite guest?
Well, sure.
David Ford is massive.
David Ford was magical, yeah.
What a gentleman.
Oh, what a gentleman. And just to be so humble. Like, he was the most humble human being.
He was looking after the parcels. You were doing
the letters. Yeah. And he put up his hand like a big shovel, yeah. Yeah, he was humble, but I'd say, from a local point of view, to be so close to Tony and listen to Tony's episode.
Ah, yeah.
After what he went through, like to nearly win.
For yourself being in so close to him in Scraggs and that, yeah.
Scraggs, and then working the post office with him.
Wow.
Imagine winning 10 million and still being in there.
Yeah. The funny thing about that, the thing that got me about Tony's episode was the tools he has to deal with what he's done. Because at the end of the day, and he says to himself, at the end of the day, I wasn't a nice person, I robbed money. Right? We had your man on here last week.
Connor, yeah.
I know he robbed
Or
bits,
Shane, sorry, Shane O'Connor.
I know he robbed bits and bobs, as he says.
Mm.
But Tony had like a cast of money to take.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, and the fact that how he has the tools to be able to deal with that and manage that, I found amazing.
the two key words in them 2 episodes is at the end of it is forgiveness.
Mm.
That's the key word in the both of them because they don't expect forgiveness.
Mm.
They love it, love for it to come, but they don't expect it because they hurt so many people along the roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They
obviously
don't
what
crave
you
it.
said, yeah,
They don't crave it. No, they don't crave it.
No. Look, fairness, they're just trying to help the next person, aren't they?
Yeah.
100%.
You know, you just don't want to see anyone like that.
It's brilliant. Like we've said it, would it be good for people like that to go, not in that line, but like say Mikey Drennan's one, where it was like he didn't like it. He was there. There was no money involved there, no betting, no gambling addiction, no coke addiction, no drink addiction, no nothing like that. I was just fucking homesick.
Yeah.
I wanted to come home.
That's what led him to it.
That's what led him to it.
Yeah.
Like,
Lads,
do you know what I mean? And
just
like,
after just after the game for Evergreen against Newark, you know, we went the How Is He podcast went over to him after the game, and you know, the time just to come for a second just to have a chat with us.
Yeah.
You know, he's been a great friend to us here.
He's
we
a
know
good
that.
lad.
His father's passed away since as well.
Oh, he has not.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Lord mercy on him.
So yeah, that's great, lads. Why do this? Why spend the hours? Why give people the laughs or the serious stories? Like, what do you do? Do you sit down and go, I want to be a podcaster, an influencer? Why?
I don't. I never thought of. I still don't call myself a podcaster. Do you, Podge?
No.
I don't call myself an influencer.
No.
I didn't do it. He asked me to do something. We met in Carp DM, did we? Bank holiday Sunday. Met up.
It's Easter Sunday, bud.
Easter Sunday, yeah. And we said, yeah, sure, give it a go for the crack. And he had a few questions, and I just, boys, after the first episode, that was brilliant. And then it developed after snowballing into what it's gone into. It's getting bigger every single week. The numbers are still growing, but we're still the same person, which is the most important part.
Yeah, and I can see that when the guest comes in here that, you know, there's kind of a, drop the shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, come on into our space and, you know, let's have a chat. Let's have a, you know, get to know you first of all and the whole lot. And especially...
You wouldn't believe, Paddy, the amount of people who come into the studio, whether this one or the previous one, who are absolutely rattling with the nerves.
Yeah.
You'd swear they had a shaking disease or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And afterwards, like, jeez, man, that was brilliant. That flew, didn't it? How long did you go for? An hour? No, boys, you're an hour and 40 minutes. Did I?
I know, yeah.
It's just...
No, some of them
people said it would after us. It's an
so
attribute.
interesting.
Yeah, it's an attribute that we have as a group to make you feel relaxed as a guest. And then you get the best story out.
The best compliment I ever got was from Thomas Byrne, Geiger's brother. And he said to me, he says, Podge, you know what? It's like sitting in the front bar of Scraggs of a Sunday night 15 years ago. He said, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I get you. It's no PC.
Yeah.
No.
I actually think it's something that's missing from society, Paddy.
Do you?
Because I don't think the networking is there anymore after games or before games or celebrating. You know, I think that I wouldn't have been a big Scraggs front bar man, but when I could get out on a Sunday, there was one place I was going, it was the front bar of Scraggs.
Okay.
To speak to Mick Dargan or Poppa, or you might see Hutchie or John or someone. You know, and the fucking place is buzzing.
It's the best pub in the town.
Conversation is flowing. And it was just soccer men there. But to go back, why we done it, I love junior soccer. I love local junior soccer. That's why we done it. I did not envision for 1 second that we would ever be here. I wouldn't have said we would have done a year. Like the live show was a massive milestone, right? Then the jerseys, like
Actually, and the jerseys, folks. There will be more about that in the next couple of weeks. I'm the jersey person looking after it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So, like, I mean, it's the beauty is that both of us have a full-time job, and this isn't us begging for monetary gain. That's the beauty, I think, and I can guarantee 99% of the people that do a podcast do it for one reason: to line their fucking pockets.
Yeah, and it's such a hard game, lads.
Yeah.
You know, you have to try. How do I differentiate myself from the other podcasters? But I think the rawness is so important. Lads, lads, and just the last question from me anyway is, what's the future? The How Is He podcast?
I don't know. I think there's a great fucking analogy, right? Jesus, I sound like such a fucking philosopher or something. I'm dizzy or something. I must be overheating. But
You're
there's
tired anyway. You haven't fucked up in about an hour and a half. You're not even talking. Go ahead.
I've
that's
kind
a
of noticed that. We
question.
won't actually look back in the stats. Who
I know,
spoke more?
no, he's,
What about it?
He's good. He's good.
No, I'm not going to say any more words.
No.
Turn this off, James. That's how I'm done.
This one doesn't work, Pat. You go over to yours.
Yeah,
I'm taping tag at me.
yeah.
I think development, Paddy.
Yeah.
I think there's other like we've mostly done. If it wasn't in a person who played soccer or got caught in an addiction, it was soccer. And I think this has the potential to go. There's other people in this county who have massive individual sports: golf, motor car racing, horse racing. He's the most famous horse trainer in the world, jump jockey. 15 minutes down the road.
yes,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of the greatest jockeys have come from this area.
Yeah.
Horse, like Stephen Murphy, rally car driving.
Yeah.
Golfing, Damien McGrath, the pro in Carroll. Play with Tiger Woods.
Darts player, wasn't it?
Dar Steve Lennon.
like lads, when
We
you look
have
when you
a
look at
lot.
Carroll, we do for a
Snooker
small
players.
county, we do punch. You know,
I remember being in the floor of the Dinree nightclub, the Foundry, or Club 23 was at the
with
time.
your shin pads.
No, well, no. And I seen my cousin Dino beat Ken Doherty in an exhibition match.
No way.
I did, and he pumped in the black and the beginning.
He did not?
He did, yeah. Yeah, and it was only an exhibition, but it was a proper game. But I was up there.
What year was that?
So he's had to win the World Championship. I say it was
98.
90. He won it 97, so I think it was 98 or 99.
So he's fresh enough. Like, would have been in the world
Oh,
top
he was
5 of the world
still
easy.
competing, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the place was packed. I was up on the top, and we got a few drinks afterwards, and he was an absolute gentleman to deal with. Yeah, and just shows there's loads of different sports in this town, and that's what I think this is the potential to do. Like, of course, it'll be mainly we'll do fixtures and results and all this kind of crack and what happened at the weekend and matches, but there's room for other guests in other sports, and if you have your story, come tell us.
I definitely think if you look at the way a podcast progressed, right? So you'd have the classic Patreon episode during the week. You'd have the classic snippet on results. So I think it doesn't matter what we do once we're going in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to say the whole thing, right? There's a whole analogy about goldfish. So you put a goldfish into a yolk that size, right? It'll only grow to swim in that, right? You take that goldfish out and you put him into that jug, it'll grow that he can. So there is no end to how big we can be. The problem is, how far do you want to cast the net? What do you want to swim in? Do you want to swim in a glass or do you want to swim in a jug or bigger?
And
That's-
the
you
world
know
is
what I
your
mean?
oyster at the end of the day. You know,
100%. So
yeah,
I think where we go, I think the crew we've created, the dynamic we have is brilliant. Excited, absolutely. I think there's endless possibilities of where we could go. I think how we've developed as podcasters, I think anyone could sit in front of us and we get a conversation with them.
and folks, just to just behind the scenes, that even Podge's wife does the sounds behind the scenes, and there's other people who does the social media for the lads, and James obviously producing the whole thing. So regarding podcasting itself, it's a tough game, i.e. there's a lot in it, there's a lot of hours go into it, and the majority of people, you only get to a certain stage or a certain podcast, because if you're doing it weekly, you've got to be prepared. So just as someone that's been watching the two boys, I know that you guys are 4 to 6 weeks ahead of yourselves with guests. And next week we've...
So even this one, this is, not going to lie, this is the 27th of June. It's going out on...
Yeah.
It's going out on the...
27th of May, bud.
27th of May, and it's going out on like the 18th of June or something. So yeah, look, you have the prep and you have to kind of know what you want to do. But that's the whole thing. Like, please understand this as well. Like, us going getting people, at times there's a sprinkle of desperation, right? Because people let you down, or people, do you know what I mean? So
but it's time.
Yeah, 100%. And it's trying to find them or get them in. Like, and to be fair, we're blessed because 99% of the people we've asked, we've only got one person saying no to us.
Brilliant.
99% of the people that we've asked have said yes.
Okay.
So we're lucky.
So guys, have we anyone looked for autographs yet, or are we there yet? Are people looking at you or strangely? Or
Fame is a disgusting thing. There's nobody wants fame. I don't want to be famous.
I hate it.
If the man was a bar of chocolate, he'd eat himself.
if he was an ice cream, he would lick himself.
He lick himself, yeah.
No, I tell you, I do, Paddy, and I never thought I'd say this. I played soccer and I coached soccer. This is as enjoyable as both.
Is it?
100%.
I
love it.
You know,
I fall in love again. I can't lie to you.
I love it.
as I say, if you go to, you never work a day in your life if you love something.
Yeah.
You know?
If you love your job, you never worked a day in your life.
That's it.
You just said that, bud.
Yes, I didn't say it that way, though.
That was awe-inspiring.
Get off my
It's,
case,
it was a bit weird tonight, actually, interviewing you two boys. You know,
it was strange, yeah.
you
I
know,
probably did talk too much, Papa. Did
Thanks,
I? I'm
thanks,
sorry.
You bother. I say you sleep tonight, bud.
yeah. Thanks, Podge, for letting me interview you. I don't know where that came from. You know, strange.
No, that's permission, bud.
James,
Mr.
can we
Mr.
cut anything out here? Are we okay?
What do you want to cut out, Podge?
What happened? It's blacked out the last 3 seconds. Something happened there. I don't want to cut anything.
I'm going to leave the last
but that's-
word to you.
But that's the beauty, though, Paddy. I'm sorry to keep you, but that's the beauty about two of us. We're liable to say anything, and there's no editing. You use the word raw. Keep it fucking raw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a bonus, that's a feather in our cap. That you hear other podcasters that you speak to, or other lads that do podcasts.
And do you know what else is a big
There's
thing?
20 minutes taken out of that, or...
Well, actually,
but-
we have to be watching you guys do though. You can't, you know, you can't have free will.
we
either.
will...
100%. If you went pure blasphemous on something, I'd be
No.
like, oh, we're reeling in there.
Yeah.
I get that. But we're not like that.
No, we know what to say and what not to say, which is more important.
Do you know what the most important thing about, I think, doing this is, right? Is understanding that competition is non-existent. And the reason I say that is, this could go out on a Wednesday morning, right? But you don't have to listen to it till the following Monday. There's
100%.
no panic. There is no panic. Like, I look at the stats on the provider we use. There's people still listening to episode 1. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's 63 episodes ago. Do you know? So there's no competition to this. Like,
No, and you can go at your free will, cut the grass, throw on an old earpods.
yeah.
You know?
I stopped listening to it. I'm not going to lie to him. Sick of me.
Do you listen back to yourself?
Not anymore, no.
Do you, Pop?
Moments,
If I
maybe.
was going on a long spin, I'd throw on an episode that I
Would
like. Yeah.
I love the reels.
I go, the reels are very good.
Reels are brilliant. Do you know what? I'm lying to you. I listened to the Kilkenny on with the boys from Kilkenny.
Yeah.
I just thought, I said, how does this work with the 5 of us? And Damien's in the middle like a green screen. So I was like, I was interested in that.
Yeah. Oh, lads, we had the 5E here 2 or 3 weeks ago. Oh, my
Man,
God.
I felt like I thought it was in Devil's Arsehole. I was in fucking me.
Not Devil's Advocate, Podge.
Oh,
Devil's
Arsehole. Fuck
The absolute.
me, the heat.
And poor old James sweating, man,
Yeah.
with the mics. And that's the rawness from here as well, is that, you know, Jesus, are we perfect? No. But will we give it a go? Fuck yeah.
But that's what I'm saying to you. I think it's understanding that you're not in any competition, you're not going to make money off this, and you're never going to be fucking perfect. Turn on the microphones, let's go.
Bang.
Lads, the amount of clubs that see a games match, or Paddy, and there's the podcasters. Look, there's the boys over there. Mention this now. We're after winning the cup final. We're in the cup final. Give us a show out.
I come here. Do you get from the two of you, though, from two lads that do be on the sidelines, and I'm interested to hear this. Fuck you, Papa. Fuck you, Podge, in your podcast.
I'm at fuck all games.
I got it.
Do you
games,
get?
I don't go to games.
Doesn't
Like,
bother me.
Does it?
Or
I
off the
wouldn't
Ducks
say it
back.
does.
No,
It wouldn't
I
bother
got
me
it.
either. But
I'd say I got it 3 times, maybe 4 times this year.
Yeah,
Put that in your podcast, you fucking moat, whatever they say. Yeah, all right, bud. Yeah.
But the personality.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
That's the personality
Yeah,
you have. The
yeah.
personality you have. You probably sit here and say, "Oh, Joe Soap told me to put that in the podcast." There you are, bud. To put it in the podcast.
Would I listen to them two lads?
Yeah. I tell you a quick one before we go. Right?
Oh yeah, this is.
We got bet in the Carroll Cup final last year. Right, we went out. No walk bets. We went out for a few drinks, and a few lads come over that I'd know by name, but I wouldn't know. And one of them come over to me and absolutely slaughtered the podcast. Right. I think we were on episode 20 or something at the time. Probably less. Would have been less because it was May. Slaughtered the podcast. But proceeded to give me a breakdown on every single episode. Do you know what I mean?
Snippets on it.
At the start of every line it was, you know, he's a shit, but Pat Timmons had a story to tell, didn't he? Do you know? And I'm thinking, yeah. To me, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't care because you're listening. And that's what it's about. So you can lie to me face, but there is definitely a portion of you enjoying this. Do you know what I mean?
Lads love listening to their name being mentioned.
Yeah. But I couldn't believe
Can't
that.
help it.
Because you were alien to the whole thing. I couldn't believe that. I'm thinking, is this how this thing works?
It'd be different if someone brought it up in conversation and your man said, man, I wouldn't listen to you. He said, absolutely. Listen to you once for 20 minutes, turns you off, you're shy.
That wouldn't bother me.
Then
no.
walked away, that's fine.
Yeah.
We told him everything about the fucking podcast.
yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's
Fucking
brilliant.
nuts.
I wasn't there, no, but
Look,
yeah.
lads, these are on Instagram, How Is He Podcast. You're on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
We can't get enough of you two
Bebo,
boys.
MySpace.
You've got this far. You've bluffed it this far. Keep bluffing.
Yeah.
You are doing very well at bluffing. I'm going to leave the last word to you boys because you know how to sign out.
Thanks very much to the team we have, yourself, James, and the rest of the team. The facilities here are absolutely fantastic, and I don't think we'd stop, but we wouldn't be at the level we're at. There's no doubt with that. So from the bottom of my heart, pop it.
Oh, genuinely, yes.
Thanks to the
Fantastic. If you make us feel professional. We mightn't sound it, but you make us feel it. And it's a privilege to come into a studio with the attributes that it has every single week, that you just literally walk up, cup of tea, penguin bars for Podge, of course, James.
Do you hear Viscount?
Yeah.
I tell you truly, if he eats any
And,
more mint,
What
he's
was
going to turn
what was
green.
that pistachio one we had one time?
The Dubai chocolate.
Oh, man.
We
That's
video
rotten. And he
I actually
four
have a
ribs
video
deep into a bar of chocolate.
Make it
he
that
was.
out.
That was
That was a review.
very nice.
Yeah, there was
No,
lovely.
the first bite it tasted like
You said
I thought I
sawdust
was
or something.
eating
You said.
gravel. But then when anyway, sorry.
You thought you were
We're going off.
Yeah.
But look,
No, it's brilliant, and I said it's a privilege to come in every week, and look, we don't do it for anything other than just a bit of crack, don't we, Podge?
Yeah,
and it's
100%.
people listening. We thank you so much for your loyalty and support and following and skitting. You can skip me till the cows come home. I couldn't give a fiddler's fuck, being honest, and I think he's the same.
And I
say
just
what
have
you want
to
me.
do the self-promotion.
Yeah, go for
Amplify.
Amplify, yeah.
Power up your podcast.
my wife is actually sending the bill in there for that. Anyway, as always, lads, it's not my podcast.
Not my podcast.
It's not Ampifi's podcast either. Oh my joke. It's Carroll Soccer's podcast. It's your podcast, lads. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Over
God
and
bless.
out. Yeah, brilliant.
That's full time on this week's episode of the Housey Podcast, available on all podcasting platforms. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter/X. Proudly sponsored by Ampifi. Got a story to tell? A voice that needs to be heard? Get in touch with us here in Ampifi, Carlow Town's professional home for podcasters of all kinds. We can be found on Instagram at Ampifi Podcast Studio. Ampifi, power up your podcast.